now that we've gotten a bit introduced to Postgres, we're going to go back to BMS. And today we're going to be looking at how to connect Python to the Postgres database so that we can make a table for BMS and actually start to store the books that we're saving into the book management. So here we go. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at connecting Python to database. And the reason we're doing this is because in BMS, for which we have even started the whole database thing, is that in BMS we need to take in BMS whenever we stop the entire program or code, then then all of the history, all the books we have added goes away. So to store them, we need to use the database. And for that, today we're going to be going through making or getting the connection from Python and PGM. So the first thing here is that we have imported psychopg2, and then we're using try-except finally. So this is the part where I'm connecting the movies database. So this is the DB name BMS, then the user, the password, and then the host. And after this, here we have sorting movies by name. So then we have cursor is equal to connection.cursor. And cursor is basically when you execute something. So so the cursor is basically this blinking thing over here in line 21. So when you execute something, then it points to the temporary memory, and the result is it points to the temporary memory that the result is stored in. And after that, I'm doing cursor.execute. So select everything from books and then order by title. So this is in if the user wants to order it by title. And then here we have data is equal to cursor.fetch many. And there's three different options. One is fetch many, then there's fetch one, which will basically fetch the first one, and then the first value from the table. And then there's fetch all. So you fetch everything from the table, and then fetch many is basically you're fetching this many. So in this case, 8 pieces of data from the table. And after that, we have SQL. So I'm just gonna make this into fetch all. And after that, we have SQL is equal to insert into public books, title author. So this is basically formatting it. And here we're inserting into the table from Python. So I've already added this into the table. So if I go over here, then if I select everything from books, you can see that we already have 1984 by George Orwell and this one over here. So if I add another book, so if I add Harry Potter, I'm not gonna mention which one, just anything. And then if I add J, then when I execute it, so run main, then you can see that now we have printed this and then select books. And here you can see that we have the third book now, Harry Potter by J.K. Rowling. And this is basically getting displayed from this part over here where I'm printing the data, I'm fetching everything. So this is how the fetch all works. And if I do for example, fetch many and then one as an example, then you see that we're getting so over here it's just throwing an error now because Harry Potter already exists, so it's having an issue with that. But fetch many one would basically fetch one value. And then we have connection.commit, and after that I'm closing the communication with PostgreSQL. So that's cursor.close, and then there's exception finally. So if there's an exception, it's just gonna print an error, and if it's finally, so if connection is not none, then just close the connection and the database connection is closed. So that's the one that came here because there was no error.